I ran a couple of these plays in a row for just to contrast how both teams started out. So first thing you got Elton Jenkins pulling, okay, and they're just running like a gap scheme. Now I'm going to back it up. Zach Tom picks up a linebacker who comes down. They're going to run like a cross dog. So Zach picks this guy. Good job. Okay, don't take it in the chest, right? Don't get knocked back, but at least you picked him up. Fair enough. Okay, now really Elgin's got to switch and go tight for this linebacker who's sitting in the green circle. But when you see color, you hit color. So Elgin's absolutely right. Musgrave's not handling this guy. He's got a stalemate, which is fine. I mean, the tight end gets a stalemate, you just run through the block. So Elgin lays this dude out, but it's just too hard to make that turn. They just kind of have us in this situation. So he does a great job, pushes the guy off, and he just follows up for the outside linebacker. But really, you got to get up and lead. The problem is Aaron saw this, Jones. Aaron wants to go right off Zach Tom's butt right here. Okay. But he sees what's happening, figures there's some space outside, and just doesn't hit this downhill because he sees that linebacker walking around. And he turns this into something, but it could have been something more. Next play. This Elton's a good football player. And I'll be the first to tell you, we all get bad footwork time to time. It's just when your team's not playing well, you need your best guys to just have these really good games, really consistent games. You don't want to have tackles for loss. You don't want to have missed assignments. And he just has bad footwork here, right? Second play of the game, you cross over and you get beat. Tackle for loss, right? So you put yourself in a third long situation. They check it down to AJ, plays over. Next series you go out, we talked about last week. What is Jordan Love good at? Well, one of the things he's good at is run those quick outs, man. Put him on a timer. Pop and go. Easy for him. Those are the things he can do all day. He always throws them on time. He's super accurate. Just got to be able to do it. Now, everyone's asking about Rasheed Walker. How's he doing? What happened in this game, at least early on, was he's in there looking at the ball, trying to figure out when the snap is. And he's laid off the ball for like the first 2-3 series. And so you got the penetration there. You got the backside where I believe that's DeGuara coming across on the split flow action. Yep. He just whiffs on the linebacker. No, I'm wrong. What am I looking at? Wrong play. Sorry, DeGuara. So we got Rasheed Walker. We got a cut early by AJ. Runyon's man is showing color in the plus side A gap. And then Zach and the tight end get split. Plays being made. DeGuara, I apologize. Wrong play. What is the first rule of the screen game? First rule of Fight Club. First rule of the screen game is this. You do not double team the play side rushers. Why? Because if you stop them from rushing, they will find a reason not to rush, and they will look for what else is going on. And this guy doesn't make the play, but because he's in the play and we have to worry about him, we can't get to the guy who does make the play. And this is like Joe Philbin used to make us run a screen drill all the time. Why? Because it takes reps to get good at this stuff. And this is the kind of like football IQ, mental errors. I don't even know what to call it. That just it's a you or me call. If I'm John Runyon Jr., I say you or me. You means, Zach Tom, you're blocking it. Me means I'm blocking him and you get out of the way. But one way or another, we're not going to double team this 4-eye so he stops the rush. And then as we try to release, he goes, oh, where are you guys going? I think I'll go with you. Doesn't make any sense. Again, he doesn't make the play, but now we can't get up to the linebacker. Right? And then Musgraves, sometimes it's like a welcome to the NFL stuff. It's like you see these tight ends like who play volleyball in high school and stuff or in college, and then they become tight ends. That's not Luke at all, but sometimes like tight ends don't run in a manner. You saw Travis Kelce get dumped last year by the old boy from the Chargers, Derwin James, and you just go like, all right, some of these tight ends need to learn how to run through contact a little bit. Footwork wins and loses games. This is what I keep talking about. Like you can have statistically, oh, we had 4.7 yards per carry. Okay. It's great. It's like, what's your consistency like? So I'm just going to break this down. Elgin Jenkins, not bad, but you turn your backside into the hole. So it turns into a stalemate where you give the running back only one way to go. Josh Myers steps directly behind himself. When you step behind yourself, your second step is short. You're high into contact. Now you're going to turn your backside into the hole and leave the running back only one direction to go. John Runyon Jr. doesn't take a second step upfield, so he's not being aggressive. So he catches the guy. All right. So now he's kind of going to end up working against Zach Tom. They're going to be kind of wedging like this instead of going hip to hip upfield, and they don't get any movement. This is the play, and it wasn't DeGuara. It was backside of, who was this backside? On the split flow look here. Who is that? Is that Musgrave? Yeah. So he whiffs. But you see, the reason these plays don't work is, they got their big nose tackle here. Myers steps back. And so he's tall, doesn't have his power, and he's turned his backside to the hole. You don't get movement on the 3 technique. Running ends up on his knees. Linebacker's free to make a play. And it's just footwork. Like, it's literally nothing else. And 4 guys you highlighted of not doing the right thing. Now, Rasheed Walker. If he gets off the ball, so he changes everything up a little bit, and he gets off the ball, he looks great. Good job. It's excellent. Hands inside, gets a little help. It's a good. It's not like the kid can't play. Whatever. Oh, he can't do this. He's the first couple series. He's literally looking in, trying to figure out how to get off the ball. Didn't turn in a great performance. I'm just saying there's room to grow there. This is the other stuff. If you want to make Jordan Love a good player, these guys can't screw up this route. You can't have a guy just stop running. And what are we doing? Arms out. You got the palms up thing again. He's going to get yelled at by the floor when he gets to the sidelines. This is the stuff that is just, we haven't experienced this level of volatility and execution because we've had Hall of Fame quarterbacks that, quite frankly, until last year was the first year where you're like, it wasn't that Aaron was accepting of it. He was furious about it, and it became a huge point of contention. But, for the prior 25 years or they didn't have these issues as consistently as they're having them this year, as far as just like not running the right route. Let's look at some positives. This is clinic tape blocking. There's some good stuff in this game. I mean, again, like the Denver Broncos, this is a good job. Yeah, backside. First of all, I was like watching Elgin Jenkins on the backside of stuff. 1-2 foot in the ground. Bang, bang. Gets that foot in the ground, gets the arm extended, turns the shoulder so Rasheed Walker can take over. Next thing, probably the most important, watch Josh Myers' first step. Gains ground. In other words, he can lose ground, but I should say he gains leverage. So he gains horizontal leverage on his opponent. He doesn't step directly behind himself, so he has a good position. I don't like that he stays square, but some coaches teach that, whatever. We got a good double team here. We get great movement by Zach Tom and John Runyon. The tight ends do a good job of running their player off. So in other words, that double team slip look works for them. We'll show one later that does as well. It just turns into a good run. Safety makes the play, supposed to make the play. You get 7-yard run. That's a big deal. That's exactly how it's supposed to look. Again, we just try to make it as easy as possible. You get a little tunnel screen here. Denver, they play off a lot. If that first wide receiver can make the block, which he does, you get Zach Tom out there, absolutely flattens the safety. Show that again for fun. Watch Zach Tom just flatten this safety. Right? Easy yards. Jordan Love's completion percentage gets up. Yards get up. Confidence gets up. Receivers gets a touch. Gets to be an athlete. All good. These guys do a great job here. 2 tight ends, young guys. Outside slip. Right? Is it perfect technique? No, but it's pretty good. Turn the shoulders. Tucker sits down. Musgrave rises. If he's not turned inside, if he just goes straight, this guy never gets out on the play. But again, you're downfield. You get despite Rasheed Walker missing on his block, AJ gets downhill, gets a chance to splatter a linebacker. It's fantastic. Burn this play. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of this play. We don't need it. Evan, things are looking good for the first time. You're on the 30, was at 31, and you run the damn end around. DeGuara gets out there as the fullback, as a blocking fullback, and just whiffs. And we just get stuck for nothing. And it's just burn the play. We just don't need it. Maybe when things are going really well. Because otherwise it feels desperate. Honestly, it feels desperate. So we're driving. This series turns out to be the first half field goal. Could have been a touchdown. They could do a double guard tackle pull here, okay? Great play. Now, AJ sees a sliver, and AJ's a downhill runner. This is like an Aaron Jones play, unfortunately, but AJ's in the game. If he follows Zach Tom, he's gone. This play's gone. We got leverage. Tight end's got leverage outside. There's one person to beat. Ends up being a field goal, but this is a touchdown. That's a big play, and it's another 25 yards on the ground. It's a big play right there. You don't see those plays necessarily, but that was a touchdown. Now I say hold the line. If you want your quarterback to make these plays, and I highlighted this a couple weeks ago, if you want your quarterback to throw you the ball deep, we want to talk about his accuracy. This ball is not a bad ball. You're turning all the way around. Shield the person off with your outside shoulder. Catch it over your left shoulder. Hold the line. There's a red line 10 yards off the sideline. You should be sitting there and give yourself this space. You don't jump up and turn around and do all this. Is too hard. Just catch it over your shoulder. If you do this, you have to catch the ball, period. Because you should be fending this guy off, keeping yourself away from the sideline, giving yourself space, and then late hands, make the catch over your left shoulder. And then this is a huge play. Everyone talks about what a great ball from Jordan Love. Confidence goes up, yards goes up, we move the ball. All positive. You got to help the guy. Zach Tom, John Runyon Jr. I love the way Zach Tom comes off the ball in double teams. It's not always perfect, but nobody's perfect. But this dude, watch this dude, man. Guy's 7 yards back. That's big time. What happens here? AJ breaks the tackle he's supposed to break. Okay? Safety comes in. They have the tight end block out, which is a great mix-up as opposed to just sifting through. They try to bring the wide receiver who's off the screen to the right to come in and block the safety. But ultimately, this is a box you should be able to run on a six-man box all day. And if anybody's going to make the tackle, it's to be the safety coming down. AJ cuts and runs through that and gets 10 yards. That's a great run. I mean, this sounds stupid. That's all it's supposed to look like. That's it. Now everyone's saying, hey, should we play Yosh? Should Yosh come in? I don't like the way Rasheed Walker's play. I think we should play Yosh. Okay. This is the problem with Yosh. Yosh has no juice in the running game. He just doesn't. He didn't have it last year. He just has no juice in there. He got beat early on he got Jordan Love hit on his first pass rush, but it's understand things like that happen. But he doesn't have any juice in the run game. And so if you're struggling in the running game, you don't bring in somebody who's worse at blocking than the guy who's in there. This is a great play design. I think we've seen this before. I think we saw it last year. So they bring in Watson kind of over inside the tight end. And what that does is the safety comes up and says, I'm blocking the tight end. That means he's got leverage now to run across the field on a short route on that backside corner. So that backside corner's got outside leverage on him. So he's got him beat already by about 4 yards. And, oh, by the way, he's really fast. So as he exits here, he's already won. Like, this play's over. Now, the crazy thing about this play is because because the DB falls down on the other crosser, we actually have a touchdown to the other side. But sometimes you take what you can get. Okay. I put this in here. This block, they want Luke Musgrave, rookie, to block a stand-up defensive end on an outside zone play. And I'm telling you, in time, maybe this is a thing. He's going to make this play less than 50% of the time. If you call this play 100 times, there'll be less than 50 times that he makes this play right, as of this moment right now. So maybe there's just no other time to learn, but this is tough. He just gets absolutely stood up. You see that the tackle's almost over the top of him, and where everybody wants to go versus where they can go, everything gets gummed up. Guar can't help him. That's a problem. That's just one of those plays where you're just going, he's not able to do that yet. To put him off the line of scrimmage if you want him to do that and give him some help. This is another burn this play. Elgin Jenkins is a great, he's a good player. This technique, this gives me nightmares from when they used to try to get you to do this like shuffle cutesy thing. And then because you're trying to hit this guy square, but then he can cut inside you super easy. And you look like a fool instead of just turning your shoulders and like making sure you have a really good contact point with this guy. You're trying to shuffle sideways and then go vertical, and he just cuts across your face. You look stupid. I mean, this is one of those, it's like burn it, man, or just let him do it how it feels natural to him. Because I guarantee that guard is not saying, hey, can I back foot around my right foot and then shuffle over there and then try to get square? It's like, it's tough play call. Opportunities here. So they bring they bring somebody hot. We don't know enough to pick him up. And Jordan, the hot route should be the inside slant because the linebackers are gone. He misses it. He tries to throw it to Aaron Jones, I believe, out in the flat, who's covered pretty well. But this is another one of those plays where you go, man, like you saw this coming. You see the opening, like you got to make this play right here. That's it. The play's right there. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't, but you see like Jones is covered actually very well. So if you are looking to that side of the field, the slant is where you're going with the ball. And look how much space he has to run. If you look at the top side of the field, obviously you see at the 42-yard line, we got the quick turnaround. But on this side, with the linebacker walked up in the A or B gap, and you see him coming, these are the opportunities you got to capitalize on. Great job here by Elgin Jenkins. This drives the bus on this play. So John Runyon actually gets kind of stood up in the hole here, but because Jenkins does such a good job of getting his man to move sideways, again, good first step. It looks like he's beat here, but he's trying to run on a track, and he's just going to get this guy's momentum going. And he just can't get past. And this is why you run the zone. It's not a perfect block, but it gets the job done. And part of the reason he gets the job done is because Aaron Jones is in the game, right? He can actually go all the way backside as opposed to just going back downhill. So big play, good run. Glad this play worked out for a touchdown. But when you see the footwork, he's not really challenged in the pocket here. And so he's running to his left. He throws over to his right. It's Pat Surtain could have picked this off. Great play by Dobbs, but it's not really what you want to see out of your franchise quarterback as far as like, let's get our footwork right to make that play. The league's gone soft, boys. The league's gone soft. This play right here, this guy got kicked out for that. And I get those rules. I get their safety things. The tight end's falling down. Kareem Jackson, and I know he has a history, but the tight end's falling down, turning around. Like there's no level that's going to feel right here. If he's going low, the guy falls down and hits. If he goes high, he gets kicked out. If he goes low, he gets kicked out. That's a bad call. Chuck Cecil is rolling over in his grave right now. I don't know if he's dead or not, but he's rolling over in his bed at least. So sometimes they just got you. So we try to run the pull. They're running a jam front. and they bring the linebacker in the A gap, and they just kind of have you. Tucker Kraft's supposed to get him, but there's just no way you're going to do it. But they run the double pull again, and it just doesn't work out. And this is what we're talking about. Something like there's plays like this where scheme wins. So that scheme beat our scheme. And sometimes it happens. And it happens right before the snap, and you don't know they're going to do it. So sometimes that happens, and you got to live with it. Now, there are calls that you can make to fix that. Yes, there are. But do we know those calls right now? And are we, no. So you take that one and you live with it. Footwork wins. Elton Jenkins. Sheen Walker. Okay. So Rashid does a good job of just kind of driving the bus here, but watch Elton takes that second step. And then a lot of people with that footwork, because he stepped behind himself and he took his second step and made a bumper and went straight up field. This is a big deal because he doesn't turn his body. He gets back to square. And when he gets back to square, it means that linebacker can't very easily play over the top. So he tries to play underneath. And now A.J. Dillon's out the gate. And it's all because Elgin Jenkins just did his job. Stayed square. Didn't let the guy play over the top. Big play in the game. Everybody's seen this already. It's actually a really good throw by Love. Pump fake. I mean, just hit him right in the hands. Big man moving here. John Rennie Jr. gets beat. So Jordan's got to get rid of this ball maybe before he's ready. Can't really step into a throw here either. You see, like, if he's going to hit anybody at that mid-level, it's going to have to be an absolute dart. So he checks it off. Great job breaking that tackle at what's at the 33 and then getting all the way down to the 38. Now, this is the last play of the game. It's kind of a big deal because Watson gets hurt the play before this. And they're looking for this coverage, but they don't have the guy running the route. And I could be wrong on that. Maybe he's supposed to be somewhere else. But if it was me and this is the play for the game, I would have the fastest guy on the field running that right there. And all that happens here is that safety doesn't bite. He throws it. He sees the coverage. He has the coverage he wants, so he's going to throw the ball. There's other places to throw it. I think everybody's, seeing the replay on television. Certainly you could have ran the check down. Like, you had time. But you take your chances, and that's part about, being a young quarterback, I think, really, is when you're a young quarterback and you see something, it's like sometimes you got to validate it. You see it pre-snap, then you got to validate with your eyes post-snap. And sometimes as a young player, you're like, man, I got the coverage I want. I'm letting that thing rip. And you don't realize, like, the backside safety just started running backwards. Like, he's got all you can need, and you don't have the speed where you need it, and you underthrew the ball. I mean, there's a lot of ands there, but